You might have people who normally come into work who need to be home, and maybe you've made some allowances for that. So, what do you need to be thinking of? Again, we've been doing this for a year at this point. Hopefully, most of you have worked through a lot of these issues, but just in case there are new scenarios or I mention anything you might not have already dealt with, obviously, you want to keep in mind security and productivity. You want to be careful what documents are getting sent where, who's watching Zoom meetings, and whether they can be hacked. I know some school districts who are teaching through Zoom had sort of security breaches earlier on that have mostly been fixed by Zoom, but all those issues are worthy of consideration. Timekeeping becomes an issue with working from home, especially if it was somebody who used to physically clock in or clock out in person that can't do that. You've probably come up with alternative measures, but there's issues as to, what happens if I just stop and read a couple of emails versus, all right, I'm just going to get paid for my full day. This can become a little more difficult for somebody who's hourly versus salaried. But then at the same time, you got to think about things like, well, are my salary employees getting away with doing nothing because nobody really knows how much they're working and they're doing the bare minimum? Think about the home to office transition. If you have people who've been working remotely for a year and you're hoping to bring them back into the office, there are, concerns that that may not go as smoothly or as seamlessly as, one might hope. People who have been accustomed to not having to get up quite as early because they don't have to commute in. Maybe I'm just going to be real frank about it. Maybe they've gained weight. Their wardrobe doesn't even suit them anymore. They've been wearing, stretch pants and whatever shirt that looks presentable on a video call. Um, that might actually have logistical transition problems. You might have to, I don't know, you don't have to, but you might find yourself wanting to allow a little more casual attire as you transition back into the workplace and try to get that ramped up. We haven't, I haven't seen too many major problems with that yet, but, it is something that's being kind of discussed as a possible issue. Equity and morale issues, you've probably all dealt with this in some way, shape, or form, where somebody wants to work from home and somebody else thinks that they should be able to work from home, and how do you balance that without upsetting everyone? Can you even it out? Well, Susie's son goes to school Monday and Tuesday, is home Thursday and Friday, and then John is the opposite. Can we let them work alternating schedules so everybody gets what they need? There are occasions where you can't accommodate everybody fairly because their jobs are different and the demands are different or whatever. But these are the types of things we've seen. At the end of the day, I think we see more than ever, or we will see going forward if we haven't already realized it, that effective supervision ultimately is the key. I say supervision, not surveillance. It's not enough just to like try to track that this person is quote unquote working. There's more to supervision than saying, yes, this person has showed up. Again, all these other issues, morale issues, productivity issues need to be monitored by someone. Hopefully, it's not you in the HR personnel office. It's, somebody more direct, unless you're talking about the people that work for you. So I know there has been in many organizations an effort to improve supervisory training at this point in time, with the proliferation of webinars and Zoom calls and whatever, and maybe relaxation of some of the other demands of the job for various reasons could be a good time to try to train or retrain folks on some of those supervisor issues.